All right, now we want to talk about the trig function values for special angles. So just to kind of review, we have special right triangles. We have a 30, 60, 90 right triangle where the base of the small base is 1, the long side would be the square root of 3, and the hypotenuse is 2. All 30, 60, 90 triangles have these values here for their sides. Okay, so the small side is 1, or the small leg is 1, the large leg is square root of 3, and the hypotenuse is always 2. So you have to memorize that, and it should be a review from way back when in geometry. We have another special triangle over here, which would be the 45, 45, 90 degree triangle, where its legs would be a 1, 1, and then the hypotenuse is the square root of 2. So these two special triangles right here are key components to the remainder of this course and all of your trig that you ever encounter again in any other course that you have. So it becomes really, really important that you memorize the trig function values for these two triangles. So let's go down here and let's kind of come up with this for a second. Here I'm being asked to find the 6 trig function values for a 30-degree angle. In trig, it always helps if we'll start by drawing a picture, so let's just draw us a picture of a 30-degree triangle. So here I have a rather sloppy one, but there you go. I know that this small angle would be 30 degrees. And since I'm trying to find the trig function values for the 30 degrees, I know that the little leg is 1, the long leg is the square root of 3, and the hypotenuse is 2. You just have to memorize that. So now I can come in and I can find sine, cosine, and tangent. Remember that the sine of 30, or the sine, would be opposite over hypotenuse, or in other words, 1/2. So 1 over 2. Cosine of 30 would be adjacent over hypotenuse, or the square root of 3 over 2. Tangent of 30 would be opposite over adjacent, which is 1 over the square root of 3. Remember that we cannot have a radical in the denominator, so I'm going to have to multiply by the square root of 3 and the square root of 3. That gives me the square root of 3 in the numerator and just 3 in the denominator. And pretty soon you'll just see that you can go directly from here to here in your head. You'll be doing this so often. Now let's take that and let's find the remaining 3, which would be cosecant of 30. So the cosecant of 30 would be the reciprocal of this, so just 2. Secant of 30, which is the reciprocal of cosine, so that would be 2 over the square root of 3. Again, I have to rationalize the denominator, so I get 2 square roots of 3 over 3. And cotangent of 30, which is the reciprocal of this, so that's just the square root of 3. Okay, so here are all 6 trig functions for the angle 30 degrees. Now down here I have a chart that has all 6, and let me make this smaller so you can see it. There is a chart that you would normally fill in. I encourage you to fill it in, but here I have it already done for you. These are 30, 45, and 60 degrees. These are the trig functions for those degree measurements, all 6 trig functions for those 3-degree measurements, and you are going to be required to memorize this because it is that important for you to be able to move on through the rest of the semester. So I encourage you to start practicing this now. Search for some flashcards on the internet if you need, but this is going to be really, really important for the remainder of what we learn in trig.